Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you all. Connie Balmer, I hope you're not on here because I don't want to mess up your sleep pattern, but it couldn't be avoided today. Um, so let me say hi to a few people before we get started. Uh, let me put something on the screen. Remember, there are no leaks in Montecito. I'll leave that there. Okay, so hello, Denise Jones, Black Queen. Oh no. Oh man. When it starts off, the gloves are off. That's not a good thing, is it? But yeah, I understand. Let's see. Hi, Veronica Quick, Claudia Sims, Gracie Infowabi, Mary H. Did I say Donna Reese? I think so. Mascara, Annie Bullard, Rosa Roberts, Carmen Bennett, Veronica Quick, Claudia Sims, V. Thomas, Compton Cali Girl, Sylvia Fielder, Hawkeye Helen, hello, Marcia Delvies. Did I say Denise Jones already? No, I don't think so. Denise Jones, hello. Church Nelly, John Newbold, okay, and Legs, Susie Q, B. Thomas, Darkest Baker, yes. Ray Raquel, Karen, Elaine Parker, Joan Garcia, Madison Bonaparte. Hello. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Hello, Kathy Gabby, Beverly Poddington, Andrea B. All right. So I pushed back the time a little bit today. Hello, little Lydia Washington, if you're here. Um, I was up late last night working on my latest food truck video, but I am happy to report that in spite of everything I was concerned about, that video may have done quite well, all things considered. But you know what? Honestly, guys, food truck or not, and if you've been around for a while, you know what I mean by food truck. But food truck or not, the whole point of that video is it is a gift to you all. But I'm proud to say at 9,700K, it's not a food truck video. Food truck is between 4,000 to 6,000 views. So you guys have done well. I don't mind that at all. I cheerfully accept my um 9,700K. That's almost what is it, 10 hours ago? I posted that at 8 o'clock this morning. So not bad, not bad. Just slightly shade, but not bad. So yes, you all are off the hook. I guess what I could say is I officially have nothing to complain about. Not a thing. But given enough time, I'll think of something. Um, Thank you, Elaine Parker. We'll all watch it together later, and that's a promise. Let's see. Okay. All right, you guys, since you have taken all the roar out of this tiger, I have nothing to complain about. Let us get on to it, shall we? Now, as you know, there seems to be a battle afoot. Someone has drawn a line in the proverbial sand. Um, Arms have been taken up against the Sussexes again. There has been a deluge of one headline after the other, one just as negative as the last. And it's hard to know which way to look because no sooner do you look one direction, then here comes something else. And I tell you, it's really been a worry. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and happy Saturday night to you. Well, anyway, I'm all rested up and primed and ready to go. Let let me see here. I'm going to open up another window as per usual. I just realized I don't have one, so I can see what you all are seeing. Okay. All right. That works. That works. Okay. All righty then. So, but you guys, there is some good news today, and I will share that with you as I go along. So let me take this away. But remember, there are no leaks in Montecito. And I don't know why this person doesn't move to LA. Out there, it's not unusual for, people to have a little work done or a lot of work. Um, if you're not bandaged at some point, you just don't exist. Um, Plus, isn't Los Angeles, in LA, Hollywood, the entertainment capital of the world, right? Well, at least it used to be, but they say it's the entertainment capital of the world. And there's nothing about this that I don't find amusing at some point or the other. So I'm just saying. Oh, look at me just rolling out with the shade. I'm just rolling out with the shade. Um, okay. Let me see here. All right, let me get my slide up. Actually, can you believe it? I had my slides ready today. Can you believe that? I was the very model of efficiency, except the fact I started about 6 hours later than normal. Oh, man. Let me see here. Let me investigate that because I just saw that. Okay. Okay, let me see here. All right, so right here it says in the Daily Beast, it says an anonymous staffer is quoted as saying, every 10 minutes I had to go outside and to be screamed at by her and Harry. It was, I can't believe you've done this. You've let me down. What were you thinking? It went on for a couple of hours. So every 10 minutes, and when you say a couple, that usually means two, sometimes more, like three, no more than three, right? So for a couple of hours, every 10 minutes, you found yourself outside screamed at, right? That you were being screamed at. Um, every 10 minutes, I had to go outside to be screamed at by by her and Harry. Um, Okay, that sounds a bit dramatic, don't you think? I mean, it sounds. Black Queen, put the knives away before somebody gets hurt. oh, oh man. But anyway, what was I saying before I saw something out the corner of my eye? Oh man. Okay, Yasmin Huron, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And thank you so much for being here on this Saturday evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I know, Susie Q. I know, and it's very, very stressful. But notice that in some peculiar way, I feel a little upbeat about it because it shows that the firm, they're the ones that's afraid. They are the ones that's nervous. Now, that being said, you can't rest on your laurels because you don't want them to. I hear you, Mary H. But you don't want them to feel like that they got you on the run. You know what I mean? You don't want to feel like they got you on the run. So that is why there is a flood of information out there. So before I get into this any further, let me tell you something. I have to feel very encouraged for one reason, actually for a couple reasons. Yesterday, I spoke to an old friend I've been knowing since, oh, I'm going to say 1993. And, aside from the community, we don't always have people that we can just discuss these matters with because it tends to, you know, you have too much explaining to do, and then you know what I mean. So that's why the Sussex Squad community is so important. So anyway, I had to explain how busy things have been lately. Since the Queen died, and before that, of course, the Sussexes were off to their big fall rollout of of activities or programs or whatever. So that was what I was hoping was going to occupy my time. I was excited because, oh, Well Child is coming. I can talk about that. So, anyway, as I was explaining this to him, how busy things have been and how, we have all stepped up so that we could defend the Sussexes, I said, well, there's a video out there where Harry explained how they're just not going to stop, how all of this abuse is just never going to end. He said, "Yeah, I know, I saw it." And I was like, "You saw the video?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I saw it." And that encourages me is that there are so many, for lack of a better word, lay people out there who have heard Harry's words. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? That so many people um know the story, and they know of the abuse, and they know that there is a racist element at play. And I think I heard one of the squatties say, maybe I was watching Ann's channel, they said, I always thought the United Kingdom was a very cordial place to be. Well, that was my impression as well. And I still believe that there are far more people that are polite, kind, thoughtful people, aside from the elements in the aristocratic set and the media and of course, the parts of the government, and especially within the royal household. So, yeah, I still believe that to be true. However, I can't ignore the fact that there's very obvious expressions of racism taking place every single day. I mean, just at this point, they're not even trying to hide it. And the thing is, it was like a big open secret, but people think that if you don't see a rope, or if you don't see the N word or segregated bathrooms or something, that is almost non existent. And of course, that's not the case. It is very, very subversive, it is very subliminal, but it is omnipresent, I would say. So, Lori says, Royal Sussex, have you read the story about on Angela Levin book about Camilla? The report is that Andrew tried to get the Queen to bypass Charles. Is that where that comes from? I saw that, but I just wasn't so interested in it. But there was people were leaking the scenario for a long time, and of course, Diana thought that Charles would make such a horrible king that it should go to William next. So I've certainly heard it before, but I didn't know that Angela had added that to her book. But wow, that is a revelation. But I know I saw it on Twitter, and I just didn't pay attention to it. I'm like, do I? Nah, I'll pass. So yeah, thank you for letting me know that that's the most recent source of that. I did not actually read the article, but thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so Ray Raquel says, uh, I would say what? But considering this was directed at Black Queen, pass, pass. I don't want the FCC to get on my case today. Oh man. But yeah, you guys keep your wits about you because there's a lot going on. And if for any reason you think something just doesn't look right, screenshot it, save it, save it, save it, because you can always go back to it and use it as a reference. Cookies and Cream says the Unroyals and their racist goons have worn out the abuse lie using Meghan. Now they added Harry to try to make it believable. These people are ridiculous and dangerous. Yes, you know what? You know what? As I'm trying to pacify my nerves, I will never say that it's not dangerous. So, yes, that is true. That does absolutely makes them dangerous. Dara Edgehill said, I unsubscribed to a YouTube station earlier because it seems Chris Ravalzi is having an issue. And what is that, Addie? And Addie, um, and telling what was going on, this person made it seem as if Meghan is part and comments were lies on our faves. Oh, really, Dara Edgehill? Well, you don't have to say the name of the station or I mean the channel or whatever, but yeah, yeah. If something doesn't look right, definitely, you know, hit not interested, unsubscribe, and hit not interested. Let me see. John Newbold says, and now Baldy had to comfort um a P- had to comfort a PR. What is that PR? After Megan. Oh, well, okay. I saw that Baldy had to comforted one of the people at Kensington Palace, right? One of those people there, one of the people in that choir. After Megan shouted at her, Baldy told that person that she was doing a good job. I read that too. Isn't that interesting? Well, as he is a lazy boy, how would he know that? Yeah, how would he know? How would he know? Um, if anything, what I figure is that there was, you know what? Let me go on. Let me go on. Let me see. Bridget Cross says they are so desperate, and it's clear they have no idea what to do about Meghan and Harry's popularity, and more. They tried to destroy the Sussexes the more the royal family and firm and tabloids raised them up. Bridget Cross, that is very true. Very true. What does not destroy you will definitely make you so much more stronger. So let me. Oh wow, you guys. Let me see here. Masa Kali, thank you so much for the. Is it Cooley? Cooley, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Very, very much appreciate it. Okay, so let me go to this next one here. Okay, so every 10 minutes she had to go outside to be screamed at for a couple of hours. First, 10 minutes. I can't believe you've done that. Second, 10 minutes. You've, what is that? Let me get that down so I can see it. You've let me down. Third 10 minutes. What are you thinking? She said the same thing every 10 minutes for three. Now, this quote is from one of the squatties. I decided just to take the comments or the posts from this Twitter and to leave the names out of it for now. Because some of them, if I don't recognize the person whose quote I'm taking, I don't know, how much they like this kind of attention. So I just decided to leave them out for now. But oh, and there's more. Believe me, there's more. Okay, so as you know, the squad got those receipts out. The squad got those receipts out. Meghan Markle's nicknamed all names royals have for Meghan Markle, plus this unflattering insult. The palace staffers called Meghan Markle demeaning names revealed reveals new book. Now, that came out in May, not March, but May of 2020. Prince Harry is reportedly angry about rumors that the royal staffers called Meghan Markle Meghan. And of course, horrible nickname palace staff called Meghan Markle behind her back. And then the last one there at the bottom is a UK high society magazine says Meghan Markle has been given the nickname Meghan in Kensington Palace. I believe all of that to be true. I believe all of that to be true. There was an atmosphere, there was a culture of that anti Black American woman in the Kensington Palace. I really do believe that. And even though lately I haven't shown this photo as much, let me use it again. As I say, representation matters. And because of the lack of representation, I find it very easy to believe um, that there has been an effort behind the scenes, and probably not always so behind the scenes, to disparage, to demean the Duchess of Sussex. As you can see, there is only one person of color in that photo, and he's not even supposed to be there. They had to go out to the Mews to get him because his job is to polish the Range Rover and be ready to roll when we tell you roll. Other than that, that is the staff of Kensington Palace as it was some 3 years ago, I think. Hasn't changed very much when it comes to the makeup of that staff in terms of race. Not much has changed. And right there in the center, you have William and Kate, and behind them, of course, you have in order of importance, you see Jason Knopf is back there. Now, the person of color is very near the exit and not even in the row of people because, like I said, he's not supposed to be there. He was an afterthought just to make things look more acceptable, I would say. But yeah, so he was an afterthought. And because of the lack of representation, that's how you do things like go to the Caribbean and lose half the Commonwealth, as well as the fact that you were embarrassed because some of the optics were in such poor taste. But I'm not trying to help them. It's rare. It's rare that that age-old institution welcomes people of color to do anything besides uh, gardening or kitchen work or for that matter driving. I'm surprised. I've never seen I think that guy is from one of those islands in Polynesia or whatever. I'm surprised to see him there. Honestly, I am because these are jobs and I heard this the other day actually maybe yesterday on one of the chats on Twitter where they were saying that these roles are handed down from one generation to the next, which is how you get someone like the arbiters, father and daughter, who literally lived at Kensington Palace. There is no objectivity whatsoever. Why would there be? Because everything is about eating from the queen's table. In this case, now, the king's table. So, this is why change is so reluctant. This is why the culture is so toxic, is because um, it's one thing to be an outsider, but it's another thing to be an American and even worse, a woman of color. A woman of color. It just confounds them that a woman of color would find herself, as Royal Suitor would say, at the very top of the social pyramid, at the very highest levels of the social pyramid. You take Rachel Meghan Markle from California and you put her in a position where she's a senior royal, but yet you don't want her to actually think. You want to be able to just point and instruct. You want her to dumb herself down so that she doesn't make the rest of the family look bad. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a selling point when they promised Harry that they would protect her, which they did promise Harry that they would protect her, and they didn't. Instead of protecting her, it seems more likely that they tried to conspire to stop the wedding, allegedly, possibly, and also they used some of those henchmen in the media, allegedly, to find people to say terrible things about the Duchess. And so we're supposed to believe that that glowing description of the Duchess of Sussex, actress Meghan Markle, when she was an actress all those years, or even in high school, or in university, we're supposed to believe that something changed the minute she got to the Kensington Palace. She was exposed from a lifelong career of menacing people and shouting at people and scaring people and all kind of cruelties. None of that was noticed, and you can't pay anybody to say otherwise, of course, except for her father's side of the family. But you can't even pay anyone to say otherwise. I guess they're supposed to be so afraid to say anything. Let them tell it. So there's a super chat. Is it McKinsey TD? I mean TKD? Is that right? I hope instead of going to Coronation, Harry and Meghan come here to Boston and relaunch their IG page with a real tossing some tea in the harbor. Oh, you want another Boston tea party? Thank you, Baron, for this space. Oh, Mackenzie, thank you so much for saying that. And that's a good suggestion. Another Boston tea party would be in order. I appreciate your super chat and thank you so much for your comment. Uh, okay, guys, I'm doing like a deep scroll. Oh, I can't pass this up. What is it, Black Queen? What you got for me? Do these people not understand how barbaric they are? We are all of the human race. Nobody is better than the other. Your morality and humanity or lack thereof is what differentiates you. Thank you, Black Queen. Thank you. Um, that's it. Nothing. I was afraid for a second there, but okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I shouldn't tease like that. But you know what, guys, I think we may take a couple of calls later, but let me try to get through some of these first. Prince Andrew should be subject of bullying probe over 12 complaints made by palace staff over overbearing and verbally abusive behavior, according to a former royal protection officer. We've heard that before, but of course, no investigation, no nothing. And then, of course, Prince William reportedly royal leading the charge against Meghan Markle for being so American. That is very, very plausible to me. Now, you guys, everything that you read, everything that you listen to, make sure you take note of the date. Now, that one is June of uh, 2021, June 27th. June. So, everything that, for me, everything is before the Oprah interview and after the Oprah interview. And it was only after the Oprah interview, remember, it was only after the Oprah interview that this idea that Meghan is a bully started. And so, whenever you discuss these topics with people, tell them what I just told you. Make sure that that story is post Oprah interview because that is when it started. Before that, there was not a hint of it. Before that, it was just, oh, she doesn't understand. Someone needs to take her under their wings, and Kate is going to show her how it's done. Camilla's going to show her how it's done, right? So the story on the left, of course, that is from January 2022. All right. So apparently, um, before or after Oprah, there's always been this idea, and we've seen that documentary where the guy was saying that how the royal family behaves, how they'll tell you to f off first thing in the morning, or at least one of them in the family took that position. And then over here, I love this. So, what's in the red box is a quote from one of the squaddies. I wish they changed their storyline. They've been using these ones since Diana. And you can take a browse at them yourself. Princess Diana, brutal outburst against royal staff. Get out of my sight. Princess Diana, um, let me see, enjoy gossiping, created tension amongst royal staff members. That describes the Queen Mother amongst other people in the household. Princess Michael of Kent, who you seem to have a soft spot for. Meghan Markle flew into a rage at PA over color of blankets and left entire household on the verge of quitting. Really? Now, unfortunately, I don't have a timestamp for that one, so obviously, though, post Oprah. Meghan Markle leaves royal staff strained with demands and falls out with Kate. Again, post Oprah. Well, wait a minute. That may have been Meghan made Kate cry, so maybe that's not post Oprah. And then there on the right, you can see Princess Di's dark side doesn't get a look in. Oh, apparently, obviously, that is not Princess Diana's photo there. They want to make sure that the crown highlights any type of anger or any type of hostility or whatever they're going after. They want to make sure that that's highlighted when it comes to the crown. And then the shady side of Meghan, and it's just as you see in the red box up there. You would think that they would change their storylines, but they don't, because it helps to create bias and it helps to shape a narrative and it helps the royal family to look like they are the innocent victims of the outsider. Okay, so Faith Hope Love says, Baron, they tried to get rid of her from the moment they found out about her and Harry. They keep trying to get rid of her up until they found out that she was pregnant and realized no hope. Well, Faith Hope Love, I wish I could say that's where they stopped, but I don't think they ever stopped, because when they left, they kept sending Harry this message that he's welcome to come back, and almost at the same time, but don't bring that American, don't bring that black girl with you. So yeah, they changed their trajectory a bit at that point, but it didn't really stop, in my opinion. But anyway, thank you so much for your comment. Joseph Berno says we will soon um, see if that person can control the den of vipers, backstabbers, and sycophants he's inherited. Let the Game of Thrones begin. Oh man. Oh boy, I see you guys had a lot on your mind today. Let me see. Juliet says, now I understand why there are lots of leaks in the royal family, because King Charles III runs out of those emotions. So, his emotion, his emotional support consort, his emotional support Camilla, um, she's no longer uses. Okay, yes, thank you so much, Juliet. Woo! Okay, I caught that one. All right, let me see. Daphne Gabrielle says, Baron, how can anyone say an actress and diplomatic duty been assertive since early teens needs so much training? Racism, they work her to the last day. Shame. Daphne, you're absolutely right. They make it seem like that work is so difficult. They make it, and then of course the big lie that Meghan was wondering why they didn't get paid for the walkabouts. They didn't get paid for the walkabouts. Seriously? Senior member of royal household passed information about Meghan Markle to Mail on Sunday, editor court papers show. Well, we know that. Now, take a look here on the right side. Take a look here on the right side. Let me see here. Let me get this down so I can see it. Interesting to me that a woman wanted to write her own speeches is considered bullying. But what is that? Prince William, little typo there. Prince William yelling bloody woman and calling Meghan Markle 500% nightmare is not bullying. What about Kate Middleton wanting to cart off Meghan to Africa? Was that bullying? Well, okay. So that's a comment from Twitter, right? I didn't put the name of the account, but maybe you recognize yourself. But let's take a look here. William, BBC Lies ruined my mother's life. Um, William doesn't write his own speeches. I'm just going to tell you, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't write his own speeches, but he got up there in front of the camera and, with the urging of someone in the institution, threw his mother under the bus. He saw the bus coming and he had a speech in his hand, and he had one thing to do, was to go out there and try to downplay the abuse that his mother suffered from his father and his second wife. That's what that speech was supposed to do. That the last days of Diana were filled with paranoia and fear because of Martin Bashir. Martin Bashir is the one who made that television interview on Panorama a thing. It wasn't because Princess Diana was going to shop around until she found a journalist she could trust, even though it's pretty much the same thing that she said to what's the other author, the one she did that she gave the tapes for the book. Even though that happened, we're supposed to believe that, and this is what's so sly about this. It doesn't just come out and say that she would have told that story anyway, but it does lead one to believe that, but for the fact of Martin Bashir. So Martin Bashir was the sacrificial lamb. Martin Bashir is the one who had to take one for the team. So William's speech inferred, but didn't directly say, but it inferred that Martin Bashir was responsible for Princess Diana's paranoia, not the fact that her ex-husband, with the might of the British government behind him, may do something that threatens her existence. No, that wasn't why she did that. It was because of Martin Bashir. Now, you know that's not true. I know it's not true. Um, Princess Diana was paranoid. She was isolated. She was stripped of her titles, stripped of her royal protection, because that was what Prince Charles wanted. She didn't have a say. The Queen left it to Charles, and Charles was like, well, yeah, that is the mother of the future king, but she doesn't need royal protection, and she can pay her own way from here on out. She got a divorce settlement. She could pay for everything herself. And so, because of that, Princess Diana was stripped of her title, her HRH, and she was also stripped of royal protection and pretty much left in the most vulnerable state for such a high profile, and of course, at that time, the most photographed woman in the world, the most famous woman in the world. At that period of time, it certainly wasn't Betty, it was Princess Diana. So, what are you going to do? Princess Diana was cut adrift and left vulnerable. Leg says, what's their end game? You want attention from the U.S., but denigrate anything about the U.S. Is the denigration supposed to increase national unity? It's not working. The Scots, the Wales, the Irish don't buy it. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. They do not buy it. Okay, so let me move on. Whoo, boy, it's getting hot in here now. Kate moving pieces to ensure Meghan Markle and Harry relocate to Africa, expert claims. Well, we did hear about that. And of course, I believe that there was some kind of negotiation afoot to get them out of there. Now, Harry wasn't so keen on going to Africa because, after all, I believe they were more interested in financial independence. And that type of financial independence would be so much easier in the place of birth of the Duchess of Sussex than moving to South Africa. I mean, that's just a fact. Meghan Meghan had a network of people that she had known for years, like, for instance, her Beverly Hills attorney, the one who put together their financial portfolio. That wasn't someone that she got out of the phone book. That wasn't somebody that Tyler Perry or Oprah or Gail or whomever suggested. That was somebody that Meghan has known for years. And what they don't understand, or I'm sorry, what they try to make us believe is that Meghan didn't have any type of, how do we put it, any type of prestige, if you will, any type of clout, any type of name recognition until she married into that family. This is someone who was practically raised on a television show set, someone who has gone to school with other people in the industry. Of course, she knows people. This is someone who patiently writes letters and has been writing letters for years. And believe me, in this modern age that we live in, you will get more mileage out of taking pen to paper than you will a mouse click. And that is who she has been all these years. So she's not new to this. She is true to this, as they say. All right. So there, let's get into this one, right? I'm gonna play this for you guys. I got three as a matter of fact. So let me do, yeah. All right. So Tyler Perry has been going about saying some very nice thing about the Sussexes. And what I love about this is that even though they are trying to paint Harry and Meghan as these monsters, fortunately, we have a Tyler Perry amongst others. For instance, this guy right here. This is, I guess, a millennial sitting there rubbing his dog's throat. This kid right here said what a lot of other young people are thinking because they get it. They get what is happening to Harry and Meghan. They get what this campaign of hate is about. They see the racism. They see, and I'm going to throw that in there too. It's also anti-Americanism, but it really starts with race, and I believe it ends with race. And then, of course, there was the other appearance that Tyler made. So let me set this up for you guys, and there you go.
I stopped dreaming, and God's dreams were much bigger than mine. And I found myself at a place where everything that I had dreamed had come true. So now the things that are happening are far beyond anything I could have imagined. You know, I never knew I would know a prince and a princess. That wasn't even what that was about. What I was reaching out to her for was because they were giving her hell. And a lot of it was because she was a black woman.
Absolutely.
And I flat out, no denying it, I completely knew that. And I wanted to reach out and let her know that there was somebody there for her. And I sent her a note, and not expecting anything to come of it. And she said, thank you so much. And that was it. And a couple of years later, we started talking, and she was able to talk. And the only reason I'm sharing this is because she shared it first.
Okay. Yeah.
And we were able to talk, and she was telling me some of the things that were going on. And I'm just so proud of where they are now, because I'm going to tell you something. Those two people love each other. I don't care what anybody says, I'm seeing it up close, and you can't fool me.
Yeah.
I got the Holy Ghost. Okay. You can't fool me. I know what's real. They really genuinely love each other. So I'm just so happy to see where they are now.
Markle makes me feel so like
violently American. Anything else, I'm just like, yeah, this country is a hellscape. But like, let me read a nasty tabloid about her or a mean-spirited Facebook comment about her, and all of a sudden I'm just like, fucking saddle up my bald eagle, we ride at dawn, and I don't care who needs to go down. We go and take down everyone we need to until we make her the next queen of the United Kingdom. All the meanwhile playing Born in the USA while I do it the whole goddamn time.
Reached out to her and said, "Come, you can live in my home."
Yeah, it was a very difficult time for them. And what I know about the two of them, and I wish the world knew how much they love these two people love each other. They found each other out of all these odds against them finding each other, they found each other. And the love that they have is really, really moving. And I just wanted to do anything I could to support them.
Isn't that funny? Sometimes when you meet someone,
yeah.
Sometimes you can see like what love is, and you can tell right away.
Yeah, yeah. And if I don't have that, what she and Harry have, I don't want it. That's really amazing.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
It's true. Yeah.
Born in the USA, I was. Oh man. So yeah, you guys be encouraged. Be encouraged. Okay? I know it seems pretty bleak, but be encouraged. It is an awakening going on, just as we have seen in Australia. When these young people are making their case for change, Harry and Meghan are one of the ingredients that they point to. Right up there with so many other topics. That is just one of the ingredients that they point to when they make this concoction of purpose, and that is the way that institution has treated the Duchess of Sussex. And I just know in my heart, that failed tour of the Caribbean, I'm pretty sure that part of the tone that was set came from the treatment of the Sussexes. Number one, it's not just Harry. People love Meghan. People love Harry. It's the way they treated both of them. Harry is the prince of the blood. People love him. And to see him, this is what gets me. You don't see how bad that looks, that not only are you mistreating this Black American woman, but you're mistreating one of your own. You are confirming everything that Princess Diana has said for years. They are given a full account and confirmation of that day after day. And it confounds me that they are just so, I guess, dense or thick that they just don't get it. How do you not see how bad that looks for you? I don't know. So you guys, now I'm going to get a little petty here. I'm not going to show you the video. I just did a screenshot. But the video is from some years ago. As you can see, it reveals how Meghan spends days preparing her speeches and insists on writing them herself rather than leaving the work to royal aides. Now, I'm certain that rubbed them the wrong way. Wait a minute, you are a jointed doll, right? You are a jointed doll, and you are just supposed to wear clothes and go out there and do as you're told. We don't want you to think, never mind what we promised before your wedding day. Now, I'm pretty sure that somebody decided, oh, I'll put a stop to that. Oh, I'll take a look at that. Just let me know. Just let me know what she's doing. Just let me know what they're saying and doing and thinking. Yeah, keep an eye out for me. Just let me know. Now, in my opinion, I think that's just the way things were. And when they found out, for instance, that Meghan wanted to write her own speeches, that she wanted to throw in language that uplift women, that told women that they have a voice. Y'all get where I'm going with this? Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll put a stop to that. I'm sure that that is where some of the tension comes from. Now, on the right side, I thought about that speech. Let me take a look at this one. Margarita Maxwell Barron, I believe that when Harry and Meghan met with the Queen, she realized that they went what they went through. Rest assured that Charles III was furious and he was waiting for the opportunity to humiliate them. Agreed. Agreed. I do agree with that. And you guys, I know how some of y'all feel about the Queen, but be patient and wait for the book. I think the book and maybe even some of the future what do you call those things? The archetype podcast. That's it. Some of the future podcasts may shed some light on the relationship with the Queen and exactly how much the Queen could and could not do. I really, really believe that. I just do. I just do. When Harry said, I want to make sure she's got the right people around her, I think that said a lot. I think that said a lot. And I think it will explain a lot if you give it time. Give it time. And then let's decide how much involvement the Queen had in that. I think there's a story there. That's just my gut. Now, on the right, there is Duchess Doolittle. That speech, her voice trembled. She spent a lot of time looking at the papers, right? And then right here, notice how the camera, now, mind you, that's ABC. Notice how the camera, I didn't crop the photo, the camera is zoomed into that piece of paper because the paper trembled in her hands because of how ill prepared she was to be in that space. And that's what the problem is. She was so ill prepared because she just never took an interest in the work. And maybe she gets that honest. Maybe she was just there to provide children and that's it. You're not needed for anything else. But after all these years, still she was unprepared in that moment on a topic that she should have had very intimate knowledge, and that of course child development, right? So so these are some of the comments. I blocked the names. These people wrote these comments, as you can see, 2, 3, 4 years ago on that particular YouTube video. See Meghan's speech in the UN. Kate is not fitting to be a public figure and a role model. Too timid, self-conscious, shy, inward-looking. Yet it should be. Oh, let me see. I can't see that up there. Let me drop that down. Oh, that's too small. Oh, never mind. As Kate grew up in an affluent, happy but common family, a happy but common family, and Meghan in a broken family. Interesting I think that to real analytical. Okay, interesting to real analytical minds and psychologists. It. I am amazed how. Oh, that is so small, and how hard okay, I am amazed how hard to read say these simple sentences. She spends zero time to prepare it. This shows how she does not take public duty seriously. This is her job. I spoke better than her in a foreign language. And then somebody else says 9+ years? 9+years? 9+ years in the royal family, and that's as far as she's gotten. And then down there it says, Kate's hands were not only shaking, her voice is ranting, and she is very nervous. Kate needs an improvement. This is a lady that has attended university without university passing through her. Shame. And then, of course, BS. BS woman, you need a 9 to 5 job and 2 days per week, left college and was never employed in a proper job. Lazy woman, was just merely working in clothes store, a darn clothes store. My God, good luck though. To each their own. All right, and then that last one, let me move me off of here. Okay, all right, there we go. Terrible speaker, way too nervous and cringe watching. She should supply not she should simply that mean okay, she should simply not be put in those positions. She sounds a complete nervous wreck. So yeah, I mean I saw the video. I didn't, I don't have copyright for it, but that I think I'm just saying I was trying to figure out what is it about Meghan that seemed to upset them. And I can't help but believe that if Meghan goes out there and aces that job as a Duchess of Sussex and Princess of the Realm, she could only make other women in that family look bad. I was looking at a documentary about Queen Mary of Teck, or Princess Mary of Teck. Anyway, the Queen's grandmother. The Queen's grandmother didn't like hanging around that family because she found them rather ignorant and ill-tempered. She didn't even like to. She loved to go out and do walkabouts or whatever. Well, they didn't have walkabouts in those days, but she loved to go out and tour the realms because she found the family a little dense and not very interesting to talk to. So I don't think anything has changed since the time of Queen Mary. All right, let me see. The war between Brits and US, can't touch it. Not a territory of benefit. American royals history. Okay. All right, so let's move on here. Oh, wow. A lot of comments. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I missed a ton of comments here. I'm sorry, you guys, but I wanted to put some things up to help us make our case. Prince William, Charles leaked news of Harry, Meghan exit to divert attention. So, of course, we all know that. The Daily Beast, quoting anonymous sources, should be revealed. And the thing is, we can be sure that Prince Charles and Prince William are behind this latest vilification of Meghan Markle. It is coordinated. So this was actually a very recent quote, but they still call him Prince Charles. So, but yeah, so that was very recent. And then here, you guys see the blue check mark? You guys do see that blue check mark, right? I wonder what new royal scandal they are trying to cover up by planting this scandal. Last time it was the nonce, then Peggingate. It is because Charles has been seen being rude to staff and avoiding Black people in line to meet him. What now? What is it? Huh? Huh? See the blue check mark? Jamila Jamil, will you marry me? Did she say it or did she say it? She called it. What are they hiding? Now what is it? Grand old Duke of York, he had 12 million quid to he gave it to someone he never met for something he never did. Huh? He gave away 12 million pounds to someone he never met for something that he never did. Make that make sense. You got that right. And of course, I won't bore you. Oh, let me put the link up for you guys so I can hear a couple of your voices today. I gotta put the link up. Okay. And there we go. Please try to limit your comments just in case we get busy. I am going to peg it to the top of the chat. And while I wait for you guys to sort your thoughts, I'm going to keep going here. They're out, he's in, of course. Whom the palace chooses to protect, of course. I see Sophie and think Dust Bowl. I see Dust Bowls. And of course, I think in spite of all of these nasty headlines there are out there, and you know what, I have to remember this too. One of the reasons for all these nasty headlines is very obvious because last week they were so heavy-handed with the Sussexes, right? They were so heavy-handed with the Sussexes, the tabloids, Prince Charles, the whole uniform thing. They were so heavy-handed that they had to try to paint Meghan as this evil, maniacal, twisted person to justify the mistreatment. I mean, it really is just that simple. It is just that simple. It will justify all if we can paint her as this very, very scheming, plotting American with those violent African American tendencies, and she really is older than what she says she is, and those really are not her children, and oh yeah, she's all those other things they say. It really is useful to them to paint that narrative, so that way they can justify the mistreatment. Well, I just thought about that. That makes more sense than anything else. It will justify mistreatment. Um, it will justify changing headlines if they can prove what a terrible, terrible person she is that has been found out. Now, one person who's managed to slip under the radar is this one right here, Sophie Wessex. Remember that? Sophie, who badmouthed everybody. Sophie's aid, gay sex and drugs, and all that kind of stuff that was supposedly going on in her workplace or in her company or whatever the headlines was. Um, I'm sure it's all alleged and all that kind of stuff, but yet they decided they would print those stories anyway. Sophie's ecstasy and the other stuff. Sophie's marriage in crisis. Huh. Well, and then over here, Sophie Wessex News Countess shows she's ready to take over from Meghan Markle and Harry. Now, let me see what the date is on that one. I know that was last year, I think. This was after, no, I think that was probably 2020. I think it was 2020. But anyway, so Sophie is supposed to have so much juice that she could just take over for Meghan and Harry. Never mind how popular they are every place they go, as evident by that video I shared this morning. Let's not even think about that. We all know Sophie got what it takes, right? Oh man, Daphne Gabrielle, what say you?
Good afternoon, Baron. Good evening in my neck of Canada.
Oh, thank you.
And hello, squaddies all around the world. Listen to me. If you guys know who I am, when I think of these two people, I'm so glad Canada had a door open for them. You know, when you think of Meghan Markle, she's American.
Uh-oh. We can't hear you for the time being. The last thing we heard was she's American. If you can hear me.
She is articulate. She looks dignified. No matter what she puts on, if she puts the hat upside down, she's going to look good. You know, she represents the African people. She also represents her father's side as well. So I don't see why they look at her as though she's, some person that's, as they call it, quote unquote, forgive me for the word, dumb blonde, but she's good. She's doing
Well, Daphne, we have lost your voice again. Last thing we heard was she's good. So, oh well, I'm going to just go to the next slide while she gets that sorted. Now, Sophie just laughed as Chris pulled her bikini. Now, I don't know what that's about, but I was wondering why that video that Jim Carrey singing, I want to see your upper parts. I was wondering why that was trending on Twitter. I'm like, why is that video all over the place? If you guys remember that particular episode of, what was it, Living Color or no? I think yeah, it was Living Color, right? Well, if you guys remember that, anyway, Jim Carrey, who was noted for his characters, sang that song. Well, that was why it was in reference to this old story about Sophie Wessex. Duh. I was wondering. I'm just like, why is that trending? Sometimes it's just so much stuff that I don't look at everything that I see, but when it catches my eye, and so I played the video, and I'm like, oh, okay, I wonder why they posted that. Well, now I know it has something to do with Sophie Wessex. Okay, so apparently she was in some kind of compromised position or something like that. Something not consistent with a, member of the royal family, but she's not black, she's not American, she's not really othered. So then it just doesn't matter, right? Right. But now here goes trouble. As you know, Joseph Robinette Biden is very proud of his Irish heritage. He's very proud of his mama. He loves that woman. Unfortunately, she did pass away a few years ago. I mean, you could just see the resemblance. He loves Mama Biden. If there's anything that he's proud of, it is his family, and he's very, very proud of his Irish roots, which is bad news for some, especially if your name is Liz Truss. Biden accused of behaving like bully as Truss urged not to cave in to him. Discussions with the EU on Northern Ireland protocol has been given a 6-month deadline by British officials. Well, as you can see right here, here's an old story right here. Biden has been caught up in his feelings for a while. Yeah, he was very cordial with the Queen. And as a matter of fact, Biden is so important that, do you guys remember when the Queen hopped in her state Bentley and hightailed it to Cornwall so that she could be there for that meeting with the Bidens and I think was it G7 or whatever it is they had in Cornwall? She hopped in that state Bentley and raced down there with the rest of the family so that they could put on the charm offensive. Now I know why, because they weren't sure that Biden would be as useful as perhaps some other presidents. Biden, in a brutal dig at Brexit Britain, as he celebrates Macron and France, our oldest ally, which is true. Our oldest ally as a nation is, of course, France. Now, our, closest family may be British, but our oldest ally, the ones who gave us weapons and such to defeat, the British, that of course is France. As a matter of fact, people say that Louis the 14th, 16th, Louis the 16th went broke trying to fight that war with us. So Joe Biden has made a veiled dig at Brexit Britain as he congratulates Emmanuel Macron on his re-election as French president and has pledged the other leaders will work together defending democracy. So it just goes to show you where Biden's heart is. And one thing about Joe Biden is quite outspoken. When it came to same sex marriage, Joe Biden just pushed it across the finish line. Barry was being, I shouldn't disrespect him like that. President Obama was being very cautious and didn't want to, and Joe Biden was like, uh, whatever it was he said, and that's just how he's always been, love him or not. And if you guys ever heard Joe Biden's epic takedown of apartheid, it was quite amazing. So I know Joe Biden has received a bum rap about a lot of things, including the 94 crime bill, which every member of the Congressional Black Caucus, well, most of them voted for, as well as Bernie Sanders voted for it. But they like whichever Democrat is running for president, that's who they single out. The one person who didn't vote for it, of course, was Hillary Clinton. She wasn't even in Congress, but you wouldn't know that because of the way they try to make it sound like she was so instrumental in the 94 crime bill. But she didn't even vote for it. She couldn't. She was still first lady. Anyway, but that's enough of that Who Shot John. I'm just saying that they have so many problems in Britain right now that why they are fixated and focused on the Sussexes, they do it at their own peril. You best pay attention to stuff that you can control and leave the Sussexes alone. The Crown is scheduled for November 9th and will focus on adulterer Charles' affair with Mistress Camilla. And their treatment of Princess Diana. Well, Lucy Wynn, I would love to believe that they really are going to delve into something, but as far as I'm concerned, they don't have enough bite for my taste. I was depending on the Crown to really, muddy them up. And so far, they haven't had much bite. So I'm really disappointed. I would be surprised if this season of The Crown goes there because so far they have handled that family with kid gloves. And I want to see more, disruption. Let me see here. Bridget Cross says it's interesting, though, that some women go straight to the jealousy and resentment route with Meghan, where others are charmed and inspired by her. That is very true. That is very true. And I think that is a certain type of woman that you probably voted for Trump is strictly MAGA. I mean, I have looked at I've followed some of those people across social media, and where I find them are from the comment section. And when I follow them through social media, I'm just not surprised at who they follow, of who they subscribe to. Sometimes I could be in Facebook and I'm just like, I recognize that name. And yeah, and I will somehow find out that they are following certain people. So it just speaks volume of what their temperament is. Thank you so much for your comment. All right. So I'm on my next column. There we go. Duchess failed to understand the point, sources say. Now, this is the one that I really wanted to get into. Can't believe I'm not getting paid. Meghan didn't get royal walkabouts, claims a source. Of course, it's always a source. Now, I can barely see this myself, but I'm going to make it larger on my screen so that I might. Sorry, you guys. I did that. I accidentally swiped myself. I got to bring all of my slides back up. Don't worry, I'm here. I got to bring all my slides back up. I just swiped myself out of existence. Oh gosh, I hate when I do that. But the easy thing is they are so much easier to bring back because I've already had them up already. Okay, see there? No fault, no foul. So there we go. Back where I was. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm here. Let me see here. So I was trying to make those large enough to see, but I'm just going to have to strain myself. All right, so if you guys can make them out yourselves, I apologize that they're so small, but the operative word, let me set this up for you. See there? Duchess failed to understand the point a source claims, a source says. So when I say I'm encouraged today, it's because I read this. Now, I was going through my Facebook and suddenly I found myself on a Daily Express. I don't subscribe to Daily Express on Facebook or follow or whatever. But the thing is, I do belong to some of the Sussex friendly pages. And of course, the algorithm pulls all this together. So the operative word here, oh, you know what? Let me pull a computer closer. The operative word here are source and claim. I can't believe how many people just fall and believe anything that is written about her as long as it's negative. No matter how made up, the hate spreading just goes on and on. I mean, I got it was more people who did not believe this. More people didn't believe it. The next one says so-called experts' opinion. What utter rubbish and pure conjecture. Another fake story. Leave them alone. And then another one. I'm amazed how many gullible people actually believe this tripe. And then another made-up story by Gutter Press. I don't believe for 1 minute that Meghan thought she would be paid for a mini walkabout. Followed by, give it a rest, Daily Mail. Just stop. Enough is enough. Stop sharing hatred. Racist point. What is that? Racist pot. P-O-T? Yeah, racist pot. You are showing that you're exactly what she said you are. Go and report on the world's news and leave her alone. Do unto others as you wish done to yourselves. And I mean to tell you guys, this just goes on and on. And this is the last thing I saw before I went to sleep. Thank goodness, because yesterday I was just like, what is going on with all these stories? I'm sure she was well informed. Stop spreading gossip. And you guys, I literally took the whole screenshot of the phone. And most of my screenshots, I couldn't find anything but this is a lie. This is not true. This is false. Fake news. What are fake news? Let's have real news for a change. Wish people who claim these things would have a name, but it's either an expert or the claim of nobody who would be better if muck. And then up there, it says FFS. You know what that means. For you know what sakes, leave her alone. Never heard as much BS in my life. More lies, they just don't stop. It's not as if Harry married a poverty stricken individual. I saw an article that she was worth $5 million when she married Harry. So money wasn't an issue. Did you guys just hear what I just said? Did you guys hear that? I mean, I don't know if you can see these for yourself, so I'm just going to read a few. Man, these newspapers and gossip papers seem to think they know everything about Harry and Meghan, and people believe every lie they write, always blaming Meghan for doing or saying something. And then someone else says, getting beyond a joke, Charles should be putting a stop to this vendetta. He is the king. So step up. I'm not a huge fan of this girl, but I sincerely doubt she said that. I'm not wasting my time reading the article. It's been let me see, what's that? Oh no, I'm sorry. He's been thinking with his Willie. Okay, never mind. Okay, in today's episode of Things That Never Happened. Oh, I love that one. In today's episode of Things That Never Happened. I don't believe this. You made this up. I'm not a fan, but there is no need to make up stuff against her. Leave them alone. And the last one here says, what a load of rubbish. Don't believe she said that. The gutter press will print anything to get sales. Now, you guys, this is a sample of 4 screenshots, right? Here's a whole nother one and another one. So I'm telling you guys, be encouraged because this just went on and on and on. Like right there, Kelly Jacobs. Oh, come on. This is a complete BS. The completely gullible would think she held any truth. Disgusting and relentless bullying that seems to be getting worse and worse. Huh? I mean, I just all right, so here's my favorite. Take a look at the middle there. See the middle picture, the girl with the glasses, Angela Greer. She says, please stop making the 80. No, she says, please stop making the 83 accounts behind all of this hate money. Please stop making the 83 accounts behind all this hatred money. It's been proven that 70% of the hateful posts about Meghan comes from just 83 accounts. Somebody has been doing their homework. Someone has been doing their homework. And it goes on to say, Bot Sentinel identified 55 primary accounts responsible for the vast majority of disparaging content against her, and additional 28 secondary accounts were flagged as existing primarily to amplify the tweets from the primary group. The handles of these 83 accounts are all listed in report through, though it doesn't make clear who runs them. And lastly, it says here, hate accounts were bolstered by bot network and influenced media coverage of Harry. Now do you see why I wasn't more upset when I logged on today? Do you guys see why I wasn't so upset? This is why. This is why I wasn't so upset, is because this was the last thing I saw before I went to bed in the wee hours of the morning. And this is only what I screenshot. This was on Facebook, and the comment section of Facebook, not the Daily Express, were random people who saw that headline and was like, no. This was Daily Express's Facebook page, not a Sussex page. So no, it did not happen. Okay? So as I said, you guys, be encouraged. Something is shifting as we speak. Can't say for certain what it is or how far it's going to go. Oh, I just realized, you guys, I don't have the thing up there. So if you wanted to comment live, you couldn't. So there you go. Sorry I got so loud and animated, but I am just particularly optimistic at this point. I am just very optimistic. And it doesn't mean that the fight will not continue. It just means that I am fully aware that there are so many people out there who understand where the hate is coming from, or that it is contrived and made up. So, case in point, I mentioned earlier an old friend who has no interest in the royal family other than what pops up on the news said, yeah, I saw the video where Harry said that they are threatening them and they're not going to stop until she's dead. He saw the video. Just, it was trending. So we got that. And then right here, you can see you got people, as they say, Joe Lunch Bucket. You got just individual men, women of all races that are saying enough is enough. This is not true. You guys are just out to make a buck, right? And then, of course, there was the blue check mark. Jamil. There have been more blue check marks than ever that have been calling out the tabloids. So, if you like, go to Daily Express on Facebook, find Daily Express on Facebook, and you can see some more of these for yourself. But these are absolute 10 screenshots I did. 3, 6, that's 10. 10 screenshots and not a single criticism. So what does that tell you? The only criticism is directed toward the Daily Express, not the Sussexes. All right, so right here, our new king misses his ex-right-hand man more than ever before. Michael Fawcett is in exile after being sacked for a third time over cash for honor scandal. And the police investigation seems to be gathering pace, says Guy Adams. And yes, I know, Richard K. Now, you guys, I know I said this, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? I said that Prince Charles is going to want him back. And this is how they get people back. They start leaking stories like this, waiting to see what the reaction is. And if there is no overwhelming reaction from the press or from the public, but they seem to listen to the press more. But if there is not an adverse reaction to leaking this news, guess who's about to get their job back? Guess who's about to get their job back? Yep, guess who's about to get his job back? He is coming back, and he's going to have even more power than before, because unlike before when he was just working for the Prince of Wales, now he is the right-hand man, the hatchet man for a king, and he will be back. I told you guys, it'd just be a matter of time. The third time he was fired. There's no reason why he won't be back, because Charles at this point is above the law. He is above the law. There is absolutely no way that he could be held responsible for anything, because the law is in his name. So there you have it. Michael Fawcett never had it so good. Look at that look on his face. I love that picture on the right where he's just like Jackie Gleason or something. Oh, there he is, replete in his double-breasted suit, just like Charles, at the center of the storm. Now, of course, the Queen, and I love the fact that he wears that suit like a mafioso, right? The Queen, at some point, I think she must have said, do you really need to have him around? As a matter of fact, not at some point, at 3 points that happened. And then take a look there. Look at him with the blue suit on. Always double-breasted. Most people don't wear those double-breasted suits. That's kind of like a Prince Charles thing. Well, I think some of the older aristocrats does, but it is King Charles III of your nightmares, just like the one that was parodied in, well, it wasn't a parody. It was actually a character, that Prince Charles III is the one who essentially ends the monarchy. Let's see. Royal wedding. Meghan Markle request for private wedding was refused for this reason. It is believed that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were forced to change their wedding due to public demand. Meghan had hoped for a more private uh, wedding day, that is, away from the public eye, but public demand meant they had to rethink. Now, what is the date of that? April 29th. They were married in May. Okay. April 29th, they were married in May. So, doesn't that give more credence to what Meghan said when she told Oprah, we actually married 3 days before the wedding? We wanted something private just for the two of us. Huh? Does that not make sense that Meghan said, and as you guys know, Meghan is not a very conspicuously wealthy person. She doesn't wear her wealth all over her body day after day. She tends to go for more eclectic looks or the clean line on occasions, but she doesn't wear the obvious trappings of wealth. And so I never thought that Meghan was the type of person who would want such a big wedding. After I got to know more about her, it just didn't seem to fit. However, I didn't know her so well. And plus, I got to say, the fact that it was Prince Harry, you know, it would have to be some type of state occasion with the heads of other households across Europe there. So, of course, it became something much bigger. Ooh, that's juicy. What is that? In the 40s and 50s were interviewed under cause by the Metropolitan Police on 6 September concerning cash for honors. Wow. And then a couple of days later, the Queen was dead. Interesting. Let me see here. Baron, let us not address Charles as king until he acknowledges Archie and Lilibet. Oh, man. I hear you. You know why I get such a kick out of it? I'm going to tell you why. This is why I get a kick out of it. Because King Charles III is supposed to be the one that ends it. There is so many things in this movie that played out in real life. And if the life imitates art or art imitates life, if things go the way it went in the movie, he's going to be the last king. A lot of people believe that this is going to be the last king. His temperament, his lack of judgment, lack of foresight will probably bring an end to the House of Windsor and maybe the end of the monarchy. We'll see. At least the monarchy as we know it. Okay, so where are we here? Oh, yeah. Let's not forget that Prince Harry and Meghan didn't want the public wedding, according to tabloid reports at the time. They wanted a small private wedding, which they managed to have 3 days. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? The televised public event was for optics to make royal family appear diverse and welcoming. Yeah, you know, it kind of makes sense too, because I think that Meghan, I really believe Meghan did not want to ever find herself used by that family to try to um, create this image of them being this very egalitarian institution, this very racially tolerant institution. I don't think that she's ever wanted to be used that way by them. And I think that's why, for instance, when if Doria was invited for Christmas, I want to just say that Doria probably turned it down because she probably feels likewise. I don't want to be showcased to show off how nice y'all are to black folks. Let me see here. So, you guys, that is the government jet from Germany. You can see the German flag, the Deutschland Democratic Republic. That is one of their smaller jets that they use to hop around Europe. This jet was on loan to the Sussexes when they went to Dusseldorf. They actually were flown over at the expense of the German government so that they could visit and kick off the official start of the countdown to the Invictus Games a year from now. And so when the British press found out about it, they did the best that they could to try and make a thing out of it so that they could get the public angry at the Sussexes as though they're leeching off the government, to try to confuse them with the rest of the royal family, I guess you could say. But nobody was interested. Nobody cared. Baron, the Daily Express site, feedback post, Daily Express, do you ever write any updates on the late Queen so-and-so's son? Or just all about Meghan and Harry? Not surprised they left. Right? The whole tabloid media is flooded with stories about the Sussexes. I mean, it is, I don't know, maybe they have to make rent. Maybe they're trying to get their rent together for the first of the month or something. So anyway, let me do this. This was my latest video, you guys, apropos of the image of the German jet. If you haven't seen it yet, you can find it on the Royal Sussex page. Otherwise, I'm going to share it with you right now. But pretty much that is all I had for you guys today, all 1,872 of you. I'm so glad you're here. I put the link up. Nobody else is interested in having a conversation about these latest revelations. If not, I am just going to run the video. But if you do have something to say, you can save it for the other side. But otherwise, if it is past your bedtime, I'm going to bid a fine good night to you guys. I appreciate you all coming back to join me later in the day. I really appreciate it. And you guys, the video that I made, just so you know, I don't care how many views it gets, is for those of us that need it. I needed it. I've been wanting to do it for a while. And during the whole process of the funeral and lying in state, I was hoping to have the time to do it, and I didn't. It took a lot of editing, but as I say, it was a labor of love, and it was something for us, the squad, and not really for anybody else. So it's positive images of the Sussexes that I think you all will agree that we need right now. So that's why I say this is for you, or you need this, because it's been a bit of a headache lately. But the Sussexes are back in Montecito where there are no leaks. And, Destiny distracted them from the big fall rollout. But the important thing is they're back home. They got a good team that's working for them. And they will, get back on track again, and we'll be there for them, right? Right.
Meghan, you're beautiful! You're right, please. Turn ahead, please. You're right, please. Sir.
I love the shirt. Where did you get this shirt from? Do you want to swap?
Yes.
Next time. Next year.
Yes, okay.
Promise me.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. It's beautiful here. It's a beautiful city. Is it always this warm?
No, but it's a nice city. Yes.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
super. Ich finde sie sehr viel authentischer als Kate und William. Also ich bin mehr Harry und Meghan Seite. Ich finde es super, dass sie ihr Ding machen, dass sie das Richtige für ihre Familie tun und kann sie da nur unterstützen.
Harry with the baby!
Picture with Daniela.
Harry!
Daniela, mira,
The baby!
Harry!
The baby! Can I take a picture with the baby? Picture with the baby.
Oh, Daniela, Daniela.
We love your book. Yes, my daughter loves it. Yes, love it. So thanks for sharing a poem.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's lovely. Oh my goodness.
Guys, watch the pushing, please, okay? Sorry, okay, yeah. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Very, very good.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You look like you've been here for a while.
Oh, you waited for 3 hours.
Are you okay? Are you drinking water?
This is Marina's husband. This is for you. Thank you.
Hi, Meghan. Nice to meet you. So good. Yeah. That's my wife. Hello.
Oh, nice to meet you.
You live 50 years here.
Oh my goodness.
And you English and German as well? Yeah, I'm German. German, so you moved here for him?
That's a beautiful love story.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank
Harry,
you so
good to
much.
see you.
You are wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. It's lovely
Very, very
to
nice
be
to
here.
meet you.
Harry, good to see you. That's my wife, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
God bless you.
Nice to meet you.
Come with my sister since 4 o'clock in the morning to meet you.
Oh my goodness, that's so kind. Thank you so much. That's really
Yes,
nice.
her letter.
Yes, we
She
will.
is foreign victim people, and she's for all the people there, and she did a great job.
Oh my goodness.
Harry! Meghan!
Oh boy. Well, thank you guys for staying to watch. I yeah, you could just go to the regular, or yeah, you can go to the regular page if you want to watch it again. But it's Meghan and Harry in Dusseldorf. I can't say it enough. I just felt like we needed that. I mean, we have been all over the place emotionally in the past couple weeks, and so aside from just that, make sure you guys are taking care of yourself. Try to make sure that that you fill some of those spaces throughout the day with some positive stuff. Hey, Helene, how are you? Haven't seen you on here for a while. Um, oh man. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, and by the way, Helene, thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. But yeah, so you guys take care of yourselves. Don't let these things get you down. As I said, I am very, very encouraged by let's see if I can find it. All of these people that just literally called out the Daily Express for being negative, hateful, and appealing to them to leave the Sussexes alone. I mean, just complete screenshots. Also, the fact that a lot of younger people have been taking up the battle, like the that young man that is like ride or die. I thought that was very nice the way he said that. So let me see, where is that guy? But yeah, so it's a lot of things that's happening, and it's not all doom and gloom. No matter how much they try to get into our heads, we have to. Um, oh, where am I at here? Sorry, I know this is jarring with the screen flipping like that. Oh, there we go. This guy right here. He's like, I'm ready to just mount up and go after. I mean, this guy was literally ready to call out the posse because of the vitriol out there against the Sussexes. So all of these things give me encouragement. Okay, so I'm sorry I missed so many of your comments, but I was reading most of them as I was watching the video. But that was like only the second time I've seen it, so I wanted to watch it again myself. Okay, Marcia Delby says, "Thank you, Baron. What a beautiful experience in Germany. As if God was giving them great memories before they landed in the UK." Well, you know what, you guys? I really do believe that before Harry gave that speech, and also at the One Young World, I think people were saying that, oh, Harry looks so well, not people. I don't consider the Royal Rodents people, but there was haters and Royal Rodents who said that Harry looks sad, or that he doesn't seem happy, and of course they were trying to blame Meghan for that. But I that photo of the Queen with Liz Truss was quite revealing. And if you guys remember the guest that I had on a couple of weeks ago, um, we we did the thing about the way they were perceived in South Africa. Well, even at that time when we were putting that together, I anticipated, and I believe she may have anticipated too, that this was coming, that the Queen was indeed getting close to the end. And if I know that, if our guest speaker knew that, then obviously Harry knows his grandmother enough to know that she was close to that point. So the idea that he may have looked glum or sad or something like that, well, obviously, I mean, his grandmother's dying, you know, um, and that's just the way it was. So I I I understand why he looked that way, but because he's a soldier, because he's a hardworking person, he put work out there up until the point that he couldn't work and that he had to go and he just happened to be in Europe at the time. So that was all to it. I just assumed that he knew as well as anybody. Let's see here. Baron, is it true Edward Young and Angela Kelly is out the door? Yes, Angela Kelly was hoping to keep her Grace and Favor property. Now, I've read somewhere where they said that Angela Kelly, AK-47 Angela Kelly, was supposed to keep her Grace and Favor, and that the Queen made sure that there were provisions for her to stay there. However, it wouldn't be the first time that someone in the royal household thought that they were going, or someone who works for the royal household thought that they were going to stay in their Grace and Favor, and that they would retire there, only for the next sovereign to come along and say, get out. Okay, so that wouldn't be a first. And also, they said that she is planning to write another book, or that she's been working on another book. And so they may want to isolate her for that reason, because they think this next book is not going to be flattering. She was very close to the Queen, and I'm sure she has a lot to say about everything. Long as she leaves Meghan alone. That's all I got to say, as long as she leaves Meghan alone. And then as for Edward Young, well, I think I just mentioned that maybe a day or two ago, that Eddie released or leaked the story saying that Prince Charles was going to keep him on. And so while Eddie was passing out all those pink slips, letting people know that they were redundant, it seems like he forgot to print one for himself. It looks like he forgot to print one for himself. So, someone was trying to do a live with me just before I played the video, but I think they had to go, so they weren't here anymore. So, since there is no one who wants to comment, I am going to look for your last comments of the day. And as usual, as per ritual, we give our thanks and our praise and our love to our two queens, our Queen of Everything, Doria, and our Queen of Hearts, Princess Diana. Let's hope the crown is going to have some teeth this time, because usually they kind of let me down. Absolutely, Joan Garcia. We are going to keep them in our prayers. Hey, Sean, where you been all this time? Let me see. All right, so I guess that's our last thought of the day, our last word. The Queen wants to know, did the Duchess in the window get an offer yet? Cue harmonica. I don't know where the thing is. You could probably tell from the noise I need to clean this desk off. I mean, this is really getting outrageous. Oh, Sean, I don't have my harmonica. At least it's not handy. Blast it all. Oh, okay. Well, that one's not good. That is no longer viable. Next, but thank you for insisting that I belt out an old tune for you, old ditty. Let me see here. Okay, I think we're good. So that's our last thought of the day. The Queen wants to know how much is that Duchess in the window? And I will see y'all at the regular time tomorrow, per regular time. And anyway, let me see. I think that was it. I don't think I have anything else I wanted to share. That was it. And what is the latest? So you guys have seen the video from the Queen's tomb. Gosh, that thing is like just shy of 2 million views. Just shy of 2 million views. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? Oh, wow. Looks like Duchess of Success is going to be on tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. So, well, that gives y'all something to do in the morning. Let me see here. Yes, 1,947,975 views. Can you guys believe that? Can you believe it? All those views. I guess people want to make sure that the queen is indeed gone. Maybe they were trying to just, make themselves believe it. No offense, of course. Yeah, I guess they just needed to believe it. The queen always said she wears bright colors because she has to be seen to be believed. So people go and watch that tomb video because they need to see the tomb to believe that she's actually gone. If that doesn't sound too crass. Let's see here. Restrepo says, thank you, Baron. This time isn't bad either, just when I get home from work. Wow, okay. Well, someone asked a while ago, had I considered doing some stuff in the evening more often? And who knows, maybe some days I can divide it, do a little in the morning and then do a little in the evening or something like that. We'll see how it goes. Let me see. That's a good question, Rochelle Baudreau. I have to admit, I have been pretty lazy about checking the donations as of late. So, yep, I don't know. The last I heard, I thought it was like 30,000. Was it 30,000? Oh, thank you, Myra. Yeah, I have to tell you guys, I always wanted to have at least one video that made 1 million views just to say I did, and that was really cool. So, and as I suspected, there was an interest there, so that is cool also. But yeah, it worked out okay. It worked out okay. Wow. 15,000 likes. Who knows how many dislikes? But just wow. That's all I can say is wow. I was literally watching the numbers like roll. And before that, the most views I had ever had was my Princess Meghan, Princess Angela video. And that was like 175K. So I didn't think I would ever have anything that would, well, I hoped I would, but that was good. That was good though. Let me see. Really? You think one of the corgis? You think one of the corgis? But it's interesting though, the way that they do that. I've actually seen the tomb myself. And it's just a little chapel located right off the main aisle of the church, right? And when you see it, it doesn't look like anything impressive, right? But then you see the name George. Yeah, I think it just says George VI, and then Elizabeth, and now they've added Elizabeth II and Philip. A very simple marker that they use. So nothing flashy about it. And I think most of Windsor Castle is elevated above grade. So the idea that, maybe the vault might get flooded one day or something like that is not likely to happen. Although I would be concerned about runoff from the rest of the building, but otherwise I think it should be pretty, airtight. So I thought it was very interesting. Let me see. People hoping on a live cam inside. I love it. Now a live cam from Lizzie. Lizzie? Lizzie? Your Majesty? Huh. Anyway, back to you. Back to you in the studio. No, Helene, it's not too soon. It's not too soon. I think your timing is impeccable. Perfect timing. Ah, a live cam. Oh man. But you know what? They don't let people go down into the vault. I would love to go down into the vault. I would love to see, when I went to Austria, I went to the Kaiser Guff so I could see, the Habsburgs, all of those ornate sarcophagus and everything. So yeah, I would love to go down there in the basement and look around, but they don't allow people to go down there. Oh well. And Queen Charlotte is in the vault downstairs. But it's so weird. So many of those royals are not actually buried. They just have a sarcophagus, if not a plain like coffin, usually lead line, right there on the shelf where you could, just reach out and touch it if you wanted to. Very, very interesting. And then, of course, in the comments of the video, there was a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there was a few people who mentioned that it must be pretty smelly, right? But a lot of those chambers are ventilated, like they're ventilated. So there is like an air shaft that reaches the outdoors. So a lot of those places are ventilated. Adrian, you said Queen Charlotte would be the only one you're interested in. Yeah, me too. Probably just Queen Charlotte. And did you guys hear the story about how they, during the time of the Regent Prince, the Prince Regent, was that, anyway, the Prince Regent, the one who filled in when Mad King George was losing his noodles? Anyway, the Prince Regent, he was so fascinated with, the whole idea of finding King Henry VIII's actual tomb. Well, apparently, the actual grave site of Henry VIII was lost over the years. And so they were trying to widen the entrance to the tomb where Philip was located, for the past year. They were trying to widen that. And by mistake, they actually broke into another burial chamber. And that is where they found Charles the First. No, Charles II. Yeah, I think they found. No, I'm sorry, not Charles. No, yeah. I think it was Charles II. That is where they. No, I'm sorry, it was Charles I. That is where they found Charles I, who was beheaded. They found Henry VIII, one of the wives, and an infant child were buried in that chamber. And so when it happened, they told the Prince Regent about it, and they let their curiosity get the better of them, and they actually opened up the coffins to expose, the skeleton of Henry VIII and the partially decomposed, rotting corpse of Charles I, and a couple of other people in there. I think it wasn't Anne Boleyn. I forgot which wife it was. But yeah, so they were all buried in that chamber. and nobody knew exactly where the chamber was located. And so later on, they actually put a granite slab with, the names of the people in the vault. And then, of course, that included Henry VIII. So when when you walk inside of St. George's Chapel, when you get to the choir, where the seats are facing one another with all those little lamps and everything, that's the choir section. When you get there, there's actually a big granite, plaque on the floor that is just above the burial chamber of Henry VIII. So the Sussexes on their wedding day actually walked right over that granite slab that marks the grave, black granite slab. You could actually see it on the video. You probably couldn't read it, but you can see where it's located. You can't miss it. It's the checkered floor, and then there's a black granite slab there, and that is where Henry VIII is buried. Let me see. Just ask my mother, huge Diana fan, if she's excited the Cambridges are coming to Boston. Her response, who's the Cambridges? Oh, man. Oh, exactly. Let me see here. Thank you, Baron. This is my third time watching, and I can't get enough of it. Only a small segment of the population are haters. We need to remember that. Thank you, Margarita Maxwell. And you are absolutely so right. It is a minority, a very vocal, sinister, hateful minority of people are the haters. Just a small portion of the greater society that seem to be very loud and vocal and driven by hate and hostility. Let me see. Thank you for your comment. Really? Okay. I actually I'm on one of those I don't know which DNA thing I'm on, but I found a cousin that I think lives in the UK somewhere. And I think he's like a fourth cousin. Let me take a look at that. I think he's a fourth cousin, and I found him on one of those DNA page things. I got an alert saying that we're cousins. And of course, I sent the message, OMG, we're related? Oh, man. But whatever part of my DNA comes from Britain, that seems to be where we are related. We are fourth to sixth cousins. Yeah, fourth dash six. So I guess that means we're fourth to sixth cousins. We share 1% DNA, 23, what is that? CM. I don't know what that is. That means across two segments. Huh. Okay. So yeah, we're cousins. And of course, I have a bunch of African American cousins, but I haven't really gotten in touch with anybody. They just ask me, do I know other people? And then I tell them, nope, never heard of them. And then that's like where the conversation ends. So, but I tell you guys, once you give that DNA, you better not ever get in trouble because they'll find you. As a matter of fact, anybody related to you better not get in trouble because they'll find you. Yep, they'll find you. There is no assumption of privacy in this world anymore, that's for sure. We all live in a small town. Oh, man. All right, you guys. Well, I am so happy that there are so many new subscribers to Royal Sussex. But I have to tell you guys, there is a whole plethora of platforms out there in the Sussex world. Sussex friendly channels. So I hope you'll find your way to some of the others. But yeah, there's a whole group of us, and I am. I do have my faves, of course, and everybody's got their faves, and of course, my fave is hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Yeah, that's my fave. But yes, there are other platforms out there. So whenever you guys can, what I do sometimes is out, like if I'm doing some work or something like that around the house, or if I'm in the car, I'll just put it on and just leave it and, listen to it like that. So that's why I usually don't comment on the other channels. Plus, I don't want to be a distraction. You know what I mean? So I try not to distract. I mean, I get on there and I start talking, and then you all start thinking about my other career when I was an exotic dancer. You know how distracting that can be. I don't want any people, you know, listening to other people's channels and start thinking about old chocolate thunder and all that kind of stuff. So, um oh, yes, I love Claire Kane. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I put a link to Claire on the community tab. So if you guys go to the community tab, you can find Claire Kane there. Absolutely. She just uploaded a video yesterday and it was very, very well put together. Yeah, so if the live formats don't suit you all the time, you could always like go to Claire Kane or to Sussex Global UK. There's that way you can get like the 20 minutes or so instead of my usual 2 to 3 hours of banter. Let me see. Cynthia Ashton says, Baron, the interesting thing about them not being buried is that they don't think that they are dust. I think that's why Priest said he commits QE2 soul to God. Her soul was not there. Interesting, Cynthia Ashton. I didn't think about that. Now, there was one sovereign. I was looking at this program the other day, and it was a I don't know which king it was, but he left in his um final request, arrangements, will, or whatever, that he should be buried with the queen that he had lost 30 years earlier, right? And so the coffins, the two coffins were pushed together, and the wall of the coffins were removed because, and this is really actually very romantic. He wanted his dust and his bones to mingle with hers for all eternity. That was his last request. And so when they were doing some maintenance on I think it was Westminster Abbey, when they were doing some maintenance, they opened up that burial chamber, and there were the two coffins side by side, and there were two panels of the coffins that were leaning against the wall where they had removed them so that they could be joined for eternity. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. I thought that was inspiring. That his love for his queen was so great that he wanted them to be together like that. Oh, thank you, Gracie. What did I do? What did I do? You mean in general or just something in particular? But thank you. Oh man. But thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. Oh yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Do we is that really what we want? You know what I mean? Is that really what we want? Oh, oh, I ain't ready for that. Not in my lifetime. How about that? Saint Elizabeth II. I don't know. Tell that to the people in the Mama uprising. Yeah. No, 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 no. Saints don't have money in offshore accounts. No. Oh no. 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 No, just no. Yeah, that throws me for a loop when I think about it. So no. Oh man. Oh, you guys are naming other channels. That's good. That is very, very good. I gotta update that list of Sussex friendly pages again, or channels rather. I gotta find that list and update it. But yes, good idea. Yeah, I gotta update it, I think. But someone made it on Twitter and I just used it and I did you know, uh alter it a bit for one or two of the new content creators, but it probably needs to be updated again. What are you saying, Sean? Philip shall do shall do no such thing. Thus mingling together, it would make such a mess. How rude! I do the worst QE2 accent imitation. Philip. You got that right. No saint indeed. Oh, yeah, you know what? It is a little late, isn't it, Cindy? It is a little late. I mean, I don't want you up all night thinking of Philip running after you. I don't want you up all night thinking about Philip coming after you. Or one of them red boxes chasing you through the house. Let me see. I don't think I have one for her. Oh, well, except for when they asked her had she met Lily Diana yet, and she's like, "Oh, oh, oh," when they caught her off guard, and she was just like, "Oh." But you know, the one that I've been working on is Sharon Osbourne. Don't you dare cry. You don't you dare cry. Oh God, what a dreadful person she is. Exactly. Exactly. Let me see here. Yeah, what kind of saint would have all that money and not feed other people? Well, you know, one of the latest things that they're saying is that the queen didn't really want the big state funeral, but she realized that because of her position, how it might inspire people or that people would demand it or something like that. Well, what could I say? It had all the it was so cold and impersonal, you know? That service was so cold and impersonal. It it lacked any it didn't have any character. It was very stately. And if stately, and I'm not even going to say it was boring. I mean, it was nice and short. I mean, at least it wasn't like Aretha Franklin where you could go to work and come back and take a nap and wake up and it's still going on. Thank God it wasn't like that, but it was pretty long. It was long just the same. I mean, it started at what 10 in the morning and ended like 4 p.m. their time. So it was still kind of long. And geographically, good God, it covered several counties, didn't it? So yeah, 10 days. 10 long days. Mm. Oh, and of course, if there was one thing that I loved about it was when that guy, Andrew, Andrew, you're a sicko man. Andrew, you're a sicko man. Oh, Andrew, you're a sicko man. Ooh. Now that was fun. Oh, thank you, Doris. I'm glad to do it. I mean, gosh, it just makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes sense. The whole point of the community is that we expand and inform, right? So yeah, it just makes sense. But I'm glad to do it. I am so glad to do it. Let me see. Okay. Baron, they may have seen her on Zoom or communicated with her when they arrived in the UK. Yeah, I'm sure that well, and Harry did say that he frequently Zoomed with his grandparents. So I'm pretty sure that happened. Um but the exact extent of how close they were via the Zoom or otherwise, just like when we found out the Queen sent a waffle maker for Archie, I mean that was very sweet. That's what a grandma would do. And so even though I know that a lot of squatties have their feelings about the Queen, I'm gonna follow Harry's lead with this one, and I'm just gonna see where it goes because I just feel as though there's something that um that the Queen just I don't know, she seemed less more childlike toward the end, if you ask me. I mean, it's not that she wasn't aware or whatever, but it just seemed like she was so subject to suggestion. And she may have been in a lot of pain, according to one of the doctors who examined the photo of her with Liz Truss. And he said if she was suffering from like circulatory problems or something like that, that it would have caused a great deal of pain for anybody in that situation. And so, maybe, maybe they had to keep her medicated or something like that. I mean, could you imagine like her closest secretary or assistant or, that young guy, what's his name, Edward Young? Could you imagine all of that power and you're the closest, advisor to her? Who knows what possibility there are? I'll just say possibilities. Who knows? And who knows how long she was in that downward spiral? Because I could say for at least a year, she looked like she was going south. And so I'm gonna just say it'll be interesting to find out if there is something more to it that we just don't know about. So, yep. And for some people, it may be very painful to hear what the truth is. Either way, whether she was more complicit or whether she was more unavailable, so to speak, it may be painful for some people to hear that. I love my Glasgow homies from the South Side. If you hate the royal family, clap your hands. Oh man, great laugh. They sang it during the 2-minute applause. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Oh my god, I love Glasgow though. I love that place. It was I had such a bad experience when it came to accommodations though. Two cities that I visited, Ed Sheeran was in town and that took all the hotel rooms. And so one city I went to, I think it was Manchester, he was there, and I stayed at a hostel that smell like, oh, just imagine the stinkiest sock. Just imagine that you went and found a hobo and said, "Can you take your shoe off and let me sniff your sock?" That's what the room smelled like. Oh my God. It was just like, it was rancid. And that is where I stayed. The whole room smelled like sock. And that was because Ed Sheeran was in town. And so there were no cheap hotels and there were no like decent hostels. So I found myself in a room with like 10 or 12 people. Oh, it was filthy. I had a good time though. I mean, it's just, you're really there just to sleep. And then of course, when it was time to shower, I had to make sure I had my shower shoes on and stuff. But oh my God, I didn't want my foot to make contact with the floor at all. And then when I went to Glasgow, Ed Sheeran was there. And so I found myself staying at this little crappy hotel. Oh my God, I paid so much for this little tiny room. Um, and so that was my experience with Ed Sheeran in the UK. It seemed like every place I go, he would go. And it just cost me a lot of money to stay in some pretty crappy places. But otherwise, I really, Helene, I had a good time though. I really, really had a good time. But yeah, so this was what happened. I went to Edinburgh first, right? And when I went to Edinburgh, I knew I was going to go to Glasgow. And so I went to Glasgow, but then I had to go back to Edinburgh because that's where I would pick up the what was it? The Virgin Express train to go back south to London, right? But then I said, Dumfries House. I'm here, so I got to go to Dumfries House. So then I left Edinburgh, went on a train back to Glasgow, stored my bag at the train station, and then took another train to get to um, Cumnock. Cumnock is the town where you go for Dumfries House. And then from there, I had to take a taxi. And the taxi driver told me, if I let you off here, you get a chance to walk through the gardens before you get to the house. And I was like, really? And it was like this long gravel road. And there were nothing but sheeps and cows or whatever that was. But I remember I saw sheeps. And so then I walked through about maybe a half a mile to get to the gate to Dumfries House. And when I walked through, I ended up going through like this garden that was it was beautiful, beautiful, like country estate parkland. And then I finally got to the house and I, signed up for the tour and everything, or I think I had already purchased my ticket. And it was really, really cool. It was, I see you, Marshar. It was really cool. So it's just so funny that I have this connection to the Dumfries house, and that is like the Cash for Honors house, But I have to say that I cannot badmouth Dumfries house. I mean, the way the money was gotten or received or whatever, I can't really speak to that. But I can just say that the house was very impressive, and the people in the town said very nice things about Prince Charles. That is the truth. But and then at the end of the tour and everything, I had lunch, and then I went back and I tried to connect with the train, but the train wasn't available. And so when I pushed the help button, some woman came on the thing and she's like, "Hello, yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, I missed the train. What time is the next train?" "Oh, the train." And so she had this really, really thick Scottish accent. And so she tried to explain to me that the next train was like 90 minutes away. And I was just going to wait. But she sent a taxi and I didn't have to pay for it. And she's like, well, you know, it's our fault that, and it's not your fault. And I said, well, how do I pay for the taxi? Do I pay? Do I show him? And she said, no, just show him your ticket. And then she asked me if there was anybody else around waiting for the train. And I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see nobody. And she was like, okay, well, you just go and wait by the gate. And so the taxi came, and the taxi driver refused to even take a tip. So he didn't want a tip or anything like that. And so then I asked him the same question. I said, what do you know about the Dumfries house? And then all of a sudden, he gave me all this, you know, stuff about how the house has brought jobs and how Prince Charles saved the community and everything. So unsolicited, you know, conversation about how wonderful Charles was. I just asked about the house. So unless that man was an actor, but anyway, he took me to connect to the other train, and it worked out just fine. But gosh, that was really, really nice. I'm just like, they sent a taxi because they didn't want me to wait too long for the train. And that is why I love Scotland. It was everything that I wanted it to be. The only thing I can tell you is that if you go to Glasgow, you will require an interpreter because you will catch the first couple words, but after that, you're going to say, huh? What? Do what? Oh, okay. What did he say? uh, Let me see. The Scottish really made me change my mind about the British royal family. My God, they hate them. Helene, did you see that video where they asked this lady in Scotland what she thought about Margaret Thatcher? And she said something about they need to she said bury her something and drive a stake through her and throw a chain around her neck or something she said and make sure that she's finished. I was like, dear God, that's somebody's grandmother. And she's talking about driving a stake through Margaret Thatcher and bury her deep and oh my God, it was so funny. All they said was, what do you think about how do you feel about Margaret Thatcher dying? I would bury it deep and drive a stake through her heart. And I was like, good God, that's somebody's grandmother. I mean, she was going off. You hear me? All of a sudden, her eyes got all squinted, and her it seemed like clouds gathered and thunder and all of that because they asked her about Margaret Thatcher. I was like, good God, she's scaring me. Oh my God. And bury her deep and drive a stake through her heart and make sure she's finished. Okay. Woo! See what happens when you ask a question to the wrong person or ask the right question to the right person. Oh man, that was funny. Well, I just remember Margaret Thatcher was not very popular with most people, that she was very anti labor, anti union. And I know this because Ronald Reagan was also a union buster. Thanks to Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan's unions are weaker than ever. They did everything they could to try to destroy the modern labor union movement. So that's what I remember about the two of them. Let me see. She don't get me started. They hate them all because they stole everything that made Scotland great to move it to the south of England. How would you feel? I understand. They even what was it, James the Second or was it James the First who took that stone of destiny just to humiliate the Scots? I understand. But for some reason, Queen Victoria seemed to have a very soft spot for the Scots. She liked the fact that they were very, they lacked the deferential treatment for, and they just, they weren't as such, they weren't sycophants like in the South. So of course, that was her big attraction to them. Helene, did I ever tell you that I saw that painting of Queen Victoria and John Brown? The original painting by whoever the artist was. They had it on display at the Dumfries house, sitting on an easel where I could have literally picked it up and smashed it over somebody's head if I wanted to. But it was the actual painting. And before I could even ask, they were just like, oh, you guys, listen, this is the lady. This is the lady. I found it. It's kind of hard to hear it, but you could just barely hear her reaction to Margaret Thatcher. I found a little video clip. So I will play it for you. Let me see.
Good. Not a bit of good. Not a bit. I put a stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she never come back.
That's a pretty horrible thing to say when our funeral's going on right now.
Too bad. Too bad. Be good. Not a bit of good. Not a bit. I put a stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she never come back.
That's a pretty horrible thing to say when our funeral's going on right now.
Too bad. Too bad. Be good. Not a bit of good. Not a bit. I put a stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she never come back.
That's a pretty horrible thing to say when our funeral's going on.
So if I can translate, she says, not a bit of good, not a bit of good. I'd put a stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she'll never come back. Woo! Oh my. Okay. So that's how she feels. Not a bit of good. I drive a stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she never comes back. And the guy's like, well, while her funeral's going on, why would you say that? When the truth is, he should have been trying to make sure that she didn't have something for him too. I mean, it didn't sound like he was a Scot, you know what I mean? So, and that's why they say don't mess with Scotland. Oh, yes, I remember that old saying. When they told Betty Davis, they said, did you hear Joan Crawford died? My mother told me, you should never say anything bad about the dead. Well, she's dead. Good. wait. No, what? Okay, how it goes? No, my mother told me you should only say good things about the dead. Well, she's dead. Good. I think that's the way it goes. Okay, I'm still working on my Betty Davis impersonation. Okay, guys, it has been almost 3 hours, so I'm going to go. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. It has been fun. And remember, if you see Maggie Thatcher, make sure you drive a stake through her heart and put some garlic around her neck to make sure she never comes back. Oh, woo! Love it. All right, so we didn't even ginger avenge. We didn't even ginger avenge. Okay, I'm not doing a ginger avenge. Yes, I am. All right, you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. For you new subscribers, thank you so much for being here. I am so glad that you found Royal Sussex. Again, I invite you to try some of the other Sussex-friendly platforms because we want to grow this community. And if you are interested in starting your own channel, I don't know how helpful I can be, but I can give the advice. Um, don't worry about how polished it is. Just put it out there. Put it out there. You can only improve over time. I promise. So, whatever niche, subject matter, genre, Sussex, not Sussex, just put it out there. And who knows? You can just, wait and see how it goes, see if you like it. Um all I can say is you have to find your voice. You have to find your voice. And when you do, it is quite rewarding. I promise you. And there is a community out there looking for you and whatever it is you want to share with people. Okay. All right, we're good then. Love you guys. And we're going to Ginge Avenge. And I am out of here. I will see you all Sunday. Don't forget, Duchess of Success will be on at 9 tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll be up, but yeah, I will because I got work to do myself. So I'm not going to stay up super late tonight. Okay. Let's take a little glance through. Love from the Philippines. Oh, very nice. I love that. Thank you so much. All right. Yep. Let me see, Baron. Please, you are helping all the others. Yeah, well, I do, but you know what I mean. Like technical stuff. It's just that it would be so hard to explain certain things. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you have to trial and error your way through it. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, just that because I tell you guys, this has been a learning process. I have called upon skills that I didn't know I had, and then some things came easy because I'm so used to editing photos, and you guys know I love to edit photos. So that was helpful, but some things was just trial and error. Do you guys remember the first time I did a live and I didn't even know I was live? I was trying to figure out how the platform worked, and then next thing you know, I'm like, can y'all hear me? That was so funny. And they were like, yeah. I say, but you can't see me, but you can hear me. And that's how my first live happened. It was quite by accident. And so then a couple days later, when I was trying to figure out how to use the live stream, by mistake, I went live again. And I did it all over again. Can y'all hear me? But you can't see me. Do you guys remember that? That was so funny. I was just tickled by that. I could not believe that just by mistake I had went live not once but twice. So it's a good thing I keep tape over the camera because I tell you, if I didn't have tape over the camera, you all would have got an eye full of this over caffeinated chubby baby boomer. So yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm good. Good. You're good. Let's Ginge Avenge, and I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love your tomorrow. You're only a day away. We're taking a trip tomorrow, so you better hang on to your sorrows and something else. We're driving a steak tomorrow and adding garlic to her collar. Come with me tomorrow. I love your tomorrow. It's only a Thatcher away. Okay, I'm getting strange. That means it's time to go. All right, see y'all. We're breaking a hip tomorrow, so you better hang on to tomorrow. Come what may. We're taking a dip tomorrow. Oh, that's my worst song since I sang Reach Out and Touch Somebody Black. So the world won't think you really like that. All right.